Hello and welcome to another episode of the Policy Everyday Show. This is where we discuss all of the digital marketing strategies that are going to allow you to write 30 policies in 30 days. My name is Ed Cortez and I am a digital marketing strategist and I help insurance brokers to write policies every day. In today's show, I'm going to talk about 5 ways that you can use to attract new clients to a sales funnel. Now, you might be wondering what is a sales funnel, so let me explain that first. There are basically 2 ways for you to attract new clients to your business. You could have a direct offer, and this is where the majority of insurance brokers are doing. So what they're doing is basically putting out ads or any type of content that has a specific call to action to request a quote, compare. That's what we call a direct offer. But then you can also have another way of attracting clients, which is through a funnel. And a funnel is a sequence of steps that you implement digitally that first attract a lead, and then you nurture that lead, and then you try to sell with a direct offer. So that approach is what digital marketers use. It's what medium to big size companies use, and that's what you should be using as well. And every time that you have a funnel, you're going to have something tied to it that is called a list. So that's where the magic is. Because when you do a direct offer, which is the first type that I mentioned, you're basically trying to sell, but most of the times you will not succeed. You know that there's a conversion rate and that rate is going to be low. And once you try to sell and you got your first no, and you're basically going to let that lead die. You're not going to go back to that lead. However, if you have a structured sales funnel, you're creating a list, and that lead is going to remain in that list, being nurtured, being warmed up, and then based on signals, you're going to make offers. Now, if that lead said no to your offer, it goes back to the nurturing stage. So that's where the beauty of this different sales mechanism is, this new marketing mechanism is for your business, because you're no longer wasting and throwing money away on leads that do not convert. Now, let's talk a little bit about this list. A list is really a list, a spreadsheet, a database of names, email addresses, maybe another form of contact like cell phones, but it's a list. So you can have that list in many ways. You can have that list, and that's the most classical way. You can have that list in a email. So you load that list as soon as the lead comes in. You're going to be loading that list in a email marketing platform that is going to allow you to create broadcasts to nurture that list. But you can also have a list on Instagram. You can have a list on YouTube as subscribers to a channel. You can have them on Facebook as people that liked your page. You can have your list inside a messenger list, so you can interact with them through Messenger on Facebook Messenger. And even based on your audience, who your audience is, you can have that list on a WhatsApp group. Okay, so there are many ways to have that list, but you have to understand that once you change your focus to, instead of attracting leads to a direct offer, to attracting leads to your list, your whole business changes, because then you can sell multiple times. You can try to sell multiple times to the same list, and that creates a tremendous effect on your return of your investment, on your marketing investment. The other thing is, it is a lot easier to attract new leads with lead magnets, with ways, and today's show is going to be about 5 ways to attract leads to your list. So it's a lot cheaper, a lot easier to attract leads than it is to make a direct offer to them. They have to, for someone to respond to a direct offer, they have to be ready to buy. And that is rarely the case. Normally, people are not ready to buy an insurance product. They need to be nurtured. All right. So essentially, we're going to be presenting something that is called a lead magnet, and it's a piece of content, and I'm going to show you ways on how you can do it. But basically, you present a lead magnet that is going to attract leads, and you add them to your list. Now, you have to be careful, because whatever you present as your lead magnet needs to be tied somehow to the end goal that you have. Your end goal is going to be to sell a insurance product, and you need to be cautious on, and you need to know which product you want to sell. So that list needs to be built with that goal in mind. And the way that you attract leads to your list needs to relate somehow to that goal. What I'm saying is, let's imagine that you want to sell life insurance to single moms. You cannot attract single moms to your list with a cookbook, with a recipe book. Even though single moms might be interested in cooking, that's not relatable to the end goal. It's going to be extremely hard for you to remember them, that they joined your list because of a cookbook, but then you're trying to sell life insurance. So my point is, when you're going to create your lead magnet, you need to relate to what you're going to be doing with your list, right? So the reason why I really think that you should use this mechanism to build your audience and then try to sell to your audience, to your list, is because it's a lot easier to sell to someone that already knows you. Think about how you started your insurance business. You probably got your license and you started to sell to acquaintances, to friends, to family, right? And why is that? Because it's easier. Now, on the internet, you could be a complete stranger, and most of the time you are a complete stranger showing an ad saying, "Hey, buy from me, buy from me." And it's extremely hard for someone to trust especially for a decision that is a lifelong decision, like buying life insurance. So I definitely do not recommend that you do direct offers, because of that. It's a lot easier to first get your lead to know you through content, then try to sell to them. That's how you attract people without having a commercial intent, without them sensing that you're trying to sell them something. Now, you might be tempted to go to the direct offer, and I understand it sounds like the direct approach. It's easier to do. You just create an ad and there you go. However, your ad is going to be, you will have to show your ad to literally thousands of people until they find someone that raises their hand and says, "Yes, I want to buy from you." It's similarly to going to a bar and saying to 1,000 people, "Hey, do you want to marry me?" Yeah, sure. There will be a few strangers that might say, "Yeah, I will." But it's a lot easier if you ask them to first talk to you, to dance. So that's what content does for you. It creates that awareness of who you are and how you talk and how you think about protections, and then they will be ready to buy from you, right? So that's the one thing I wanted to mention. The second thing is, when you have a list and you keep that list nurtured, you will be able to sell maybe 5, 6 times to them. You will be making throughout months, maybe 5, 6 months. You will be making, you will be distributing content, you will be telling them that you exist, and you will be making offers to them. However, when they say no to an offer, they are still in your list and they keep being nurtured up to a point where they will finally say yes. Or they might say to a friend, hey, you really need to check this guy here. It's really, he really knows what he's talking about. So that's what you need to be doing with your list. Now, let's go on those 5 ways to attract leads to your list. The first one, and it's the most common one, that's what you see more often there, which is through a PDF. So what you are going to be doing is basically you're going to create a case study. So you could look at your book of business and see who in your book of business had success with you or with a product, and you write a case study on that success. Or you can write a report, something that is interesting for the type of lead that you're attracting. Now, you can also have some sort of checklist. For instance, 7 ways to protect your home. 7 ways that you should not use to buy life insurance. So those types of checklists are pretty good to get leads. Or you can have a manual, like a step-by-step guide to something, right? So consider that. That's the first way. You create a lead magnet and you create an ad that is going to allow people to download. Once they enter their email to receive the PDF, they get added to your list, to your email marketing platform. Now, the second way is what is called the reverse way. And here's how we do. It's essentially the same thing. Instead of creating a PDF with a specific content, you're going to record a class. You're going to record a video that is going to teach people about something. So it could be something about life insurance, something about the car insurance, house insurance, mortgage, you name it. So you record, you basically, and you can use your phone to record it, and you record, but after maybe 5 to 7 minutes of your video, you're going to tell them a call to action. You're going to say, hey, since you're watching this video, you might be interested in this. And if that's your case, I want to invite you to join my list. All you have to do is write your email below, and there you go. Then you have people added to your list because of the call to action that you added mid-video. Now, the third way is you do the same thing. You record a class, you record a video that has content, but it is a gated content. And that means that instead of downloading the PDF, they get to watch your video. So it's basically the same way as the first way. Instead of creating a PDF, you're going to record a video, but then you're going to have that email field before the video. So when they enter their email, they get access to the video. So that's the third way. The fourth way, and that's becoming way more common, my advice would be for you to do this, which is to do lives. So you first pick where you're going to do your live. It could be on Facebook, it could be on Instagram, it could be on LinkedIn, they have lives now, it could be on YouTube, and then you pick a date. So let's say it's every Tuesday and you pick a time, 8 p.m. And every Tuesday at 8 p.m., you're going to be live. And you're going to be talking about a subject related to what you're trying to sell. Remember, this is about giving content. You're not trying to sell on the live. However, as you're doing your live, you're going to ask people to subscribe to your channel, to join your list, and then they are going to be doing that. And then week after week, you get more subscribers, you get more people to your list. So you see, and then you get to invite them to your next live. And the more you do it, the more subscribers you have. So doing a live is extremely important for you. The fifth way is creating an event. So what you're going to be doing here is inviting other speakers to speak at an event that you organized. So perhaps you're organizing one event about how to save money in your small to medium business. Then you invite people that talk about that, and then you join and you talk about perhaps insurance, cost reductions on insurance, and then people to join that event, they have to register, and then you have your list right there. So you can do that, those types of events, bring speakers, and then you have your list. Okay, so those were 5 ways that you can use to attract people to your list. Once you have them in your list, it's only a matter of nurturing. So my advice for you is to nurture them with 80% of content in a month. You nurture them with 80% of content, and then 20% of the month you try to sell to them. Okay, so that's my advice for you. Pick the date, pick the days of the week that you're going to be giving content, and days of the week that you're going to be pitching them something, and then you're going to be having a healthy list that is responsive and that is going to buy from you multiple times, right? So that was the advice for today. If you liked this advice, this strategy, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, because every Wednesday and Friday I have new content for you that is going to allow you to sell policies every day. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.